Welcome to Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Arael Morocco. The ACIO has a long history of helping humanity from the deep recesses of time. This is the first time the ACIO has become available to the public, aside from an earlier visitation by their 15th Division, the Wingmakers. Peter the Insider, originally from Slovakia, is the director of their 12th Division, and Jessica Arael Morocco is in Cicada 3301, their 6th Division. Together, they provide intel, insights on current events, a deeper perspective on aliens and UFOs, super soldier missions with Unit 374 in the Merge, and news relevant for disclosure. Don't forget to subscribe to keep updated with our latest intel and post any questions and comments below.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Disclosures. We're here joined with Peter the Insider, and we're going to talk about some of the current events and also what Peter's been up to lately, and he can give us some insight on it. So without further delay, we're going to get right into it. Hello, Peter. Maybe you could share with people the location that you're at right now and what's going on from your perspective.
Yeah, so the whole situations get kind of wild, to be perfectly honest with me. And we need to, let's say, take immediate actions. Because we got the huge, and I mean huge problems in Middle Europe, you know, and because you bought us a sample, air sample, something like that, right?
Yeah.
And you know, people, they literally made very well prepared sabotage, made it explode in DUMB, you know, near black water, but technically it's not black water. I'm just translating into English because it's in Čierna voda, you know. It's small village near the capital city, near the Bratislava. It's like 15, 16 miles away, something like that. And the thing is, far away, you know, and the thing is, deep down underground, it was a huge research laboratory for Soviet Union purposes, you know, and they made crazy experiments during Cold War. But after they went away in years 1990, maybe 1989, 1990, 1991, it was abandoned. But very early, let's say 12, 13, 14 years, our aka Slovakian government, they start to see great potential in this facility to start to make their own research, right? Scientific research, of course. And it ended up bad, of course, as everything. What is pretty much, or where is this monarch involved? Am I right?
Well, you said it was Russian, so was Murkoff involved as well?
No. I'm talking about Soviet Union, not Russia, okay? It's the whole different story.
Well, is Murkoff involved?
It wasn't, or he wasn't.
So if you knew, why is there a Russian facility in Slovakia?
Give me a second. No, you don't get it correctly. Okay, we are talking about time period. Time period, literally.
So
Okay.
back in time when it was the Soviet Union.
Yes, it
so
was very. It was when it was Soviet Union. When it was Soviet Union, it is like, for example, okay, you as United States have military bases all over the place, in Germany, in France, in I don't know, Benelux, in Japan. I don't want to say if it is okay or not okay, but I'm just saying if you will abandon the place, or maybe some sort of a scientific research center, okay, so this is exactly the case. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Nah, this is it. It is completely different case. So Murkov wasn't involved because Murkov as a corporation, if we want to call it that way, okay, that's it. So they left it abandoned. Soviets, they left it abandoned, and this is it. What happened? Jeez.
So who is there now? You saying Monarch is there now? In that.
It kind of looks like that. Yeah.
So why was the sample brought to? Because I did what I was asked to do. And
No, you didn't anything bad.
Navy John did what he was asked to do, and we did it for humanity, not just one country. We did it for everyone.
Yeah, I know you are right. That's
so somehow it got careless and was handed over to just Monarch. So are you saying?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Correct. Yeah,
so
yeah.
Whatever happened after it was handed off became the problem.
Yeah, that's correct.
And last I saw it was I handed it off to Matthew, and Matthew handed it off to someone else.
Yeah, that's correct also. That's correct.
And then was Matthew exposed to?
Yes, correct. That's correct.
Is Matthew sick?
No, because he was vaxxed with next level generation vaccine. I don't know which kind of vaccine it is, but it was developed from some sort of source of antidotes from Arcturians. They brought us this antidote. Arcturians.
Okay, it's interesting. You don't ever talk about the Arcturians. So this is the first, one of the few times over all these years that you've talked about them. What is the relationship with the Arcturians in the ACIO?
They have no interests to be involved in, let's say, business. That means none of this is our business. I'm talking about, do you know what I mean? Like
the social affairs of the
social affairs and nothing like that. Like, nah, humanity is not interesting enough for us, and all kind of those situations, pretty much.
Did they clean up some of the mess?
Some, and that's the problem, I think.
Okay, so are people getting sick?
Very sick, and many of them die, just by the way.
In this reality or another reality?
In this reality. And what is extremely interesting for me, what in the world is FEMA doing in Slovakia, Czech Republic, Poland, Hungary, and Austria?
Well, at this point, I don't even know whoever's running our nation is not American.
Give me
It
a
looks
second.
like
Stop.
FEMA's not
No, no, no,
American
no,
either.
no, no. Stop. Do you really believe it is that bad?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Give me a second. Nah.
I don't know. It's
It
a
is. Give me a
corporation
second.
of some
It
sort.
is really that bad?
There's an interview. I can share that.
Okay.
Okay. Look at this.
And then also
Okay,
from video, I started getting a lot of messages like to my Instagram from like actual like aircraft commanders, like squadron commanders.
No kidding.
I had a squadron commander from North Carolina reach out to me. They had to load a C-17 full of supplies just to take a photo op for Kamala, and they never sent the bird.
Wait a minute, what?
They loaded an entire C-17 full of supplies for the hurricane victims just for Kamala to go there, take a photo, take a video, and they never sent the C-17. It was
Are
just
you
a full,
serious?
Yeah, and that was a National Guard, North Carolina National Guard unit. That was a 06 that reached out to me. And then I had another.
He reached out to you to tell you that they did a photo op and with the intention of never sending.
Never sent it. It was just a photo op.
These are soldiers.
I know.
This guy right here, I don't know. I'm trying to remember what his name was. Someone by the name of Hodge Twins sent this. See if there's any more notes. But he has his own show, and he has done some very good interviews. And he has
give me a second. I know that. But problem is, it's like, hey, I will say it loudly. Trump will sell out your country to Russia, okay? And Harris, the same crap to China. What the heck it's worse? Just tell me, what the heck is worse?
Both of them's worse.
Nah, this is it. It's not worse. It's most crazy stuff in the world. So I will tell you something, okay? You are a big player. I don't want to say you, but US, okay? But try to think about me being from very small nation, okay? 5.5 million of inhabitants, okay? And never be independent. Never. So either to belong to East, Russia, China, blah, 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 former Soviet Union at that time, or West, okay? How, frustrating it will be, or it should be. And give me a second. The same crappy stuff for us in whole history. We should belong. It is not like we belong because we want, because we should belong under somebody. What the heck? No. And that's the problem. Bam. Now you have it. So you have two candidates. You have two candidates for president. One will sell you to Russia, another one to China. Bam.
This is what we've been talking about for years. Are we ever going to get freed from these people that need to dominate every
we have many millionaires, few billionaires in euros. But look, for people from Western Europe, or I don't know, from US or Canada, nah, millionaires, billionaires. But look, average wage in Slovakia is about like, I don't know, 1,400 euros, 1.5 grand. It's small revenue. And some, from all of a sudden, men in crazy expensive cashmere, stuff just go out, will go out from the brand new Ferrari or AMG car, Mercedes AMG car, and what the heck is going on? And this is it, how they are bragging. They are literally like sheikhs in Dubai. They are like hey, this is it. This is, you know what I'm trying to say, like luxurious and blah, 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 you know. They are doing it. Especially in capital city. They are doing it like that. Literally, I'm not
aware of what they're doing, Peter. It's what are we doing about it? Are we doing anything about it, or are we just
I will tell you something. Once 99% of people will be just complaining and not doing anything, nothing will change.
They don't know what to do. A lot of people don't know what to do.
Because we should have radical solution, and we know what.
We have people protesting, but they're protesting.
No. I'm talking about what happened in Romania. It was like 8 or 10 years ago. They were huge, like dozens of thousands protesters, non-violent protests in Bucharest. They completely reorganized the constitution, and those people, they were corrupt. And everything, they stole everything from the country. Not only politicians, but people that were in civil, sector. They are for decades in prison. I'm not kidding you, they are. And how in the world, from all the rest of the countries, cannot go to Romania and learn from them? What the heck? Why? That's the question.
All right, so let's find solutions instead of just saying you did that, your country did this, or my country did that, or anything like that. Let's step away from that.
No, give me a second. I know I'm just saying certain things, No,
I understand, but we're going to have to go because we have access to greater knowledge. Which ET group is working with Russia? Which ET group's working with China? Why do they feel like they need to dominate other groups? Why does their whatever's going on?
But it is pretty much the same crap. It is pretty much the same crap. Which kind of ETs worked for Germans at Nazis' time? Of course, we know that.
The Greys,
Nordics. We know that.
All the Nordics. So this is bringing
us. Give me a second. They look absolutely the same as us, absolutely. But as Nordics, they have pale skin, extremely pale skin. That means almost like vitiligo stuff. They were either blonde or red hair. They have either blonde or red hair and either blue or green eyes. And they are much taller than us. What does it mean? Approximately in between 7 to 8 feet, something like that.
So the Nordics have a certain appearance that sounds similar to me almost, even with the vitiligo. So I was asking you if you saw that they did something to me to make me look like them in some way for some agenda.
I don't know, because pretty much I never saw that they will or they was to influence your appearance. Your appearance specifically. But as I get the pieces of puzzle together, let's say it will make sense.
Because I, got the vitiligo out of nowhere, just, or I showed Matthew looked at my hand and he says, he goes, that's radiation exposure. I said, I know.
This is not good.
That was it started happening years ago, like 15, 20 years ago.
Oy, that's bad. But why, there is one thing, why we even start to make, because I have full hands of, this kind of work, that kind of work, stop. We want to make this show. The question is why, right? And main reason is my actual location, and it's Middle East. I don't wanna be more specific because it's top secret, okay? I just wanna say it's Middle East. Yes, I can say this because of ongoing war, but more specific than talking about the exact location, absolute specific reason, situation towards the war and everything of that. We've got one problem, and this problem, and I mean a huge problem, are artifacts. I mean, what the heck is wrong? Why in the world are those artifacts such a big problem? Jessica, you is expert. You is the expert. What is the problem of these artifacts? Why every single time once I hear the word artifact, nah, it always cause problem. Now I don't want to even hear this term. No.
They've been in the Middle East for many years looking for artifacts. They dug up Iran. No, I think it was Iraq. And well, both countries probably, and have been pulling out artifacts.
Sorry for interrupting you. They are all over the place. All over the place. In Saudi Arabia, in those small countries, Qatar, Bahrain, they are all over the place. Question is, what the heck are they? All the time, once you are touching them or doing something, it ends up with crazy disaster. So you tell me, what the heck is this?
I think that these are ancient Sumerian or ancient Anunnaki artifacts, or that they were given from the Anunnaki to humans, but humans knew how to use them then, and humans weren't reckless with them, and humans didn't try to destroy the earth at that time. They actually liked the earth. So you have people that are getting a hold of some of these types of devices to enslave people, to manipulate people. I think that they wanted power, but they weren't going after gold like the earlier civilizations. Of course, the Anunnaki could have whatever they wanted. But another trait of the Anunnaki is this mining that's going on. And we talked about the lithium mines and a bunch of other things. So there's mining. So they have to get the artifacts in the Middle East. And then they're going to, like you said in an earlier conversation, they're going to Sudan to get the minerals. They're going to now Asheville.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Yeah, that's
so
very correct.
In this, right? This is the Fourth Reich. This not the Third Reich.
I mean, come on, that's the problem. And I will tell you something, because our few days ago, largest corporation in the world, which isn't dealing with mining of crude oil and natural gas, but let's say rare, ores and something like that. What is British Australian, Rio Tinto, both for almost $7 billion. Yes, $1 billion. Arcadia Minerals, and they've got vast portfolio of mining project in Africa, Namibia, Kenya. They've got, of course, South Africa. I mean, SAR, so South African Republic, and all kind of that stuff. But a huge portfolio is in Sudan because so many people, I mean, not so many, all the people within scientific community, they believe that there is no chance to get pure plutonium from the earth. I mean, as a normal, let's say, we can call it as a normal product from, we can call it
Means of extraction?
Yes, from the nature, and they get it. And the huge reserves of it, they are in Sudan, just by the way. So this is absolutely crazy. What the heck should we talk about and do about it? I'm just saying.
Well, can I just step back for a second? And I know that, it looks like I'm going off topic, but I'm not. And I'll tell you why. This is the same pattern of the Anunnaki. We have a disclosure or a truth community that absolutely loves talking about the Anunnaki. They were insistent that the Anunnaki are here. They're positive, I mean, they want to talk about, they don't want to hear that they're not here. And then there's this whole thing about, like you said, it's not the Anunnaki, it's the Nephilim. The problem is that it's the same behavior, and I can see why people keep looking at it. Is it possible that these devices are bringing in some kind of energy that is very like replicating or even bringing in entities that were connected to the Anunnaki? Because these patterns of going after minerals in other countries, I mean, it's not the Sudanese people that are doing all of that. They're fighting amongst each other. And then there's other nations that are involved, right? Who's doing it? And do you acknowledge what I just said about the Anunnaki?
No, they are not the Anunnaki. We are talking about Nephilims. It is right. The very big difference, and I don't know where the heck those people have false definition, because Anunnaki stuff exists 6 million years ago. I'm talking about it for years. Now I don't know what's problem. What's the problem?
You weren't here to explain this, so let's explain it. They're using Anunnaki artifacts? That's what.
You know what? That will make sense.
That's what I'm putting. So because I don't believe these people are lying. I believe that they're getting impressions. Some people are very psychic. They're seeing certain groups, like a couple days ago, I saw this one guy called Hammurabi, right? He's should be long gone. He should be gone. But then there's Zoroaster. There's like, I mean, it's like these people shouldn't be here, right? So
give me a second. What does it mean? Shouldn't be here?
Because they should have been dead thousands and thousands of years ago, or like, just not here. And then the Nephilim, like you said, would be in place. So are the artifacts bringing in maybe a hologram of them or some other kind of bleed through? I mean, because now this also affects what's going on in the Middle East. It's the same thing. It's Abraham's lineage, Ishmael and Isaac, which is Isaac is the son of Sarah, but first Sarah wanted Abraham to have a child with the handmaid, Hagar, right? And then they had Ishmael, right? So it's brother against brother there. It's been doing that for years. It's almost like an Ouroboros. They keep
Yeah,
fighting.
yeah,
This,
yeah,
like,
yeah. And this is absolutely crazy. Like you can't, let's say, win or just lose. No, you can't.
it's the same bloodline because both of them were blessed by Abraham. It's the same bloodline. That's why it's almost like they just keep on destroying the land because they can't find a resolve of communication.
Are we right? Yeah, that's it.
So artifacts.
Now, and this is it. What do you want to say me? Because I don't know. It's so.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to resolve the thing with Israel, you'd almost have to go back in time and correct what happened with Abraham.
Hey, give me a second. Nah, I don't want to get 5,000 years back in time. Okay, if you are enough courage, okay, fine. Let's do it instead of me.
No, I'm just saying, like, in theory.
Nah, I know.
If someone went back in time and did something so that Hagar did not get pregnant, then we would have a whole different landscape there. But sometimes things happen for a reason. But even if you go even further back, the whole duality thing that was coming from Zoroaster, we're still implementing on the earth. And we didn't have to, but we do. And the same thing, you know, so you almost have to, the question is like, do you go back in time to correct it, or you just try to find a resolve somewhere?
And then this is one but, or let's say if situation. One or another way, we know that it will simply happen exactly as is this saying in English, in the end of the day, and we will get absolutely same result.
But unless there's an artifact that somehow breaks this system of Abraham.
No. I will not get to this border. No, I will not. No. I don't want to get to Iraq and no.
No, and then the whole thing is they're destroying their own home, their land, with all wars.
I quite don't know why the heck they are doing that on purpose, but okay, if there is like, okay, that's what we want, okay, let's do it, but definitely
that they didn't figure it out. That they didn't figure it out all these years. Don't you see? It doesn't matter. Why is it going on for thousands and thousands of years and there's no end to it?
What?
Right?
That's true.
Why don't they figure it out? And why don't they take a look at it instead of just, you know, continuing on with this war? These people are literally have the same, it's an equal power. You're not going to win over equal power. Because of that blessing. Abraham was very powerful. He was a very, very powerful being. He was related. He was very directly connected to the ETs, or to Zoroaster, or Ahura Mazda, all of these, you know, they're off-world beings. They were the ones that, you know, came and created a lot of laws that we have on the earth, like scientific laws and things. You know what I mean? So in mathematics and all sorts of different things. So it's one of those things where someone has to step up and say, hey, listen, you know, you guys are really, right now they're heated. They probably don't have any, won't listen to reason. And that's the other problem, is they have temperament.
But come on a second. You mean like those from ancient times? You mean them?
No, the ones that the people that are in charge right now over the, you know,
they are egoish, egoistic, egocentric, egomaniacs. They will not they will never listen to you. Nah, this is crap.
No, you need to almost have another type of very powerful being come in and just say, "This is enough of this." Something has to step in, because otherwise they'll just drive each other into the ground, and it's going to be a horrible thing to watch. And the Bible talks about, what is it, Gog and Magog, and this big, huge bloodbath that happens over there. I mean, I'm not connected to any of them, but I don't want to see that. And I know a lot of people don't want to see that.
But it looks like we are that kind of stupid idiots. I don't want to say we, us, no, you know what I mean. That we will end up like that crap anyhow, or anyway.
So your presence there, you have, I'm assuming you have a purpose while you're there.
Okay, give me a second. Long story short, we are trying, and this is it, trying to collect all of those artifacts. Problem is that once we collected them, there is just the one little bit problem. You know, there is catch. There is always a catch, okay? That, okay, they just touch it and just something happened, and it click it together, and it's like, what the heck is that? And it makes some sort of
time anomaly.
Time anomaly in the first place, but some sort of device, and 2 and 3 and 5 and I don't know, 10 dozen or 25 or 35 parts, this device, and it's like, what the heck is this? And you just touch it, no controls touch, just touch it far away from the control panel, and practically there are controls all over the place, but you don't know them, you can't see them.
Well,
and you did something, and I was like, what the heck is that?
Yeah, you just barely touch something, or
this is and I was like, crap. And this is it. What I'm asking, why in the world they left this crap in our planet? Okay, if you are saying something like that,
because the ancient people knew what to do with it. So, but
okay, perfect. That's great answer. Sorry, I'm just.
They did know what to do with it. They were left to handle what the technology. They were given the technology, and they were instructed on how to use it. It's the same thing in South America. It's the same thing in Egypt. These people know. But some people remember in their culture, they still understand how these portals work, and you know, that all the little things that people don't recognize or think are real. But when the flood came, a lot of those people died. So they didn't carry on the information, and that's another reason why the Middle East got really messed up. That was a heavy flood. That whole was more than one flood, but people forgot, and so they were wiped of their memory or forgot about these items. But the jinn didn't forget. So now, even if you get those devices, you have to
give me a second. So we are talking about which kind of time period?
Time period is the Noah flood.
You mean what is mentioned in Bible? You mean?
Yeah. So, like, say Rev 1, you know, of humanity, and then the Rev 2 being whatever was Noah and his family. And
give me a second. Stop. Now I don't want to even hear jinn, because jinns are very bad.
They're watching. They are the. It's just like fairies. What do fairies do?
No. Sorry. No. Hey, stop. Jinns are bad, fairies are good. Oh, expect those very annoying fairies in
Jinns have a
Trip.
purpose, just like fairies do, and they're watching over certain things that they were left to guard, I would say.
Ah,
But
Jinns?
here, we got a problem because if I brought the sample over
Yeah.
and it got out of control and got into the wrong hands, who's to say that if you got the devices that the same thing wouldn't happen?
And this is exact. I will tell you something. We prepared packet reality with tunnel, and we will wipe out to this reality. So now nobody will touch it.
Well, can you do that with the sample?
Sample is destroyed, so explode, So that's it.
Okay, so then you have quite a task there. So you're in that dumb, which we can't say the location, the deep underground military base in the middle.
Yeah, that's true.
I imagine it's pretty dangerous, not just like people are coming after you, but collateral damage, right? Because of the activity is very unpredictable now.
Yeah, that's true.
So who's there with you? You can have the team?
Yeah, the team, but I don't know. I rather don't want to be more specific because it's a very hard mission, Let's say, it is complicated, and as I said, hard. That means, phew.
So Unit 374 is there or no?
Yeah. And Suso, and that's pretty much it.
Does that have anything to do with me getting hurt as well?
Yeah, of course, because I don't know, but they are making time and space anomalies and everything, and that's the reason. Because
because when
that's true. Give me a second. That's true. That we know it's order from Monarch. Problem is that I know, let's say we know in ACIO for sure that it is not just for Monarch, but for certain ET species. And there are pretty much too many species we can talk about. It's so crazy.
So the Monarch is now working with a bunch of which ET races?
And that's the problem. I don't know.
Well, you know that they're with the Nordics, right?
Yeah, some sort of. Oh my gosh.
So I told you that when I was in surgery and I woke up, I sort of, before I woke up, I had an awareness that I was surrounded by a bunch of soldiers. Like I had gotten
Why
hit.
in the world am I not surprised? That's a kind of question.
But I didn't recognize any of them. But you said that we look different in this this other reality, and you said I got shot in the stomach or something.
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, that's correct.
And were there any other damages that we don't know about yet? I mean, it seems like there's a lot happening. I can feel it. I have an awareness of a lot of soldier activity happening. around us, almost like we're integrating into some of the battles. Or it's another layer of a battle, an overlay of a battle that's happening there in the Middle East. And maybe fighting the ETs instead, as opposed to the people from either nation. And you said, because I was hit with a some kind of laser that went through my protective uniform. I mean, I was shielded pretty heavily, but their weapon was pretty strong.
Yeah, laser, it's pretty good. It's normal. I am not surprised. I mean, like, absolutely surprised.
Yeah, and yeah, and I don't think I was meant to recover. I think that I got some help. I definitely think I got help because I'm doing much better now. But and then the exposure to the sample as well was a problem. Me and Navy John. So you know, we're doing the best to take care of ourselves after that, but we're still active.
Yeah.
So it's going to get crazy then, Peter, when you start finding those devices that things could trigger. It can do all sorts of things, right? So some of the examples would be what? Time anomalies. That would be one example. Bleed-throughs. What else could happen with some of these devices?
I mean, what you want to talk about, because you just said too many stuff. You.
What do you mean?
Because technically, all the stuff you mentioned, all the stuff, like everything, ETs can influence.
But tell us about it. Because you've been through these scenarios before, you remember them.
So try to say me first. Which one was the first one?
So the scenario of that you get a hold of a device and it could create, or an artifact, it could create a time anomaly. It could create a bleed through. Or everyone could get sick, you know, because it changes the atmosphere in some way. Like it could be inverted. It could create a black hole like CERN.
Okay. So this was absolutely crazy. This happened in one case scenario. It happened like 3-4 years ago. From our perspective, it was crazy timeline when there was nothing instead of one thing. Mayhem, total chaos, and I was like, what the heck is this? Yeah, it was like that. And pretty much all of the scenarios, what I am or what we'll be talking, happened like that.
What about a scenario where all the people are gone? Like a timeline where no people exist? Because people have talked about being in a place like that.
Yeah, they are, or there are too many scenarios with only very few people are alive. Problem is, we want to, because we want, of course, to prevent that happen to here.
Right.
But we never get to, you know, to quotes in quotes back to roof. Like, what the heck? How? We simply can't.
Well,
You know,
a few years ago, there were a few people that talked about being in a reality. It didn't look like it was apocalyptic. It just looked like everything was as it is right now, but no people. Like he was going in and out of stores. He was walking.
no, give me a second. I know what are you talking about, and I know exactly. It was like in those post-apocalyptic, I don't know, TV shows, movies, or video games. No, I know. Yeah, I know it.
This guy was, I think he was on social media, and he was upset because he said he woke up and he's walking around, and he literally had video footage where he had his camera. He went into a time slip, you know,
Okay.
and he had a camera and he was videotaping malls, hospitals. He's just walking into stores and nobody was there.
Give me a second. I know. I exactly know what he's talking about. Problem is, how this happened. The situation that this gentleman tried to experiment it with also called backrooms. He may be
Okay.
Didn't knew that at the time, but it happened.
That makes sense.
What do you think about backrooms?
Yeah, I think that it's almost like some extra stuff related to a matrix. Like it's almost like they you know, when they created our reality, or there's overlays on this reality, and then there is like these pocket, you know, excursions. You know, it's like this maze of different places that you can go, but most people don't ever access them, and something glitches, and then people will step back in time or have some kind of weird time anomaly. I had a time anomaly just talking to you one time, and I ended up like 20 minutes away from my home. I was like 5 minutes away from my home, and somehow 20 minutes away. So things like that can happen, you know, like just step into it, right? But if someone's playing with technology, or is something that is able to break through our reality, right? Then you can end up in this other place. So yeah, if he was wanting to, people that really want to get into time travel or into another reality, some have been successful in doing.
But there is one. It's the I don't know how to name it. Bittersweet situation. It's like there is there are back rooms. This is some sort of saying. I don't believe that in that. You know, this is
Yeah.
no, and those people are just looking for opportunity to get to them. I mean, back rooms.
Back rooms are looking for people that are willing to go back there, but it messes up.
No, hi. Yeah, that's true.
It completely messes up your life and your timeline and everything, right?
Hey, please, just don't say me that you was in back rooms.
To my knowledge, I haven't been in back rooms. Do you think I have?
Sometimes.
I go into back rooms? What do I do there? Are you having problems, Peter, over there?
I just want to ask you, which kind of being you just met? It was like 5, 6 years old.
There was a being that I met when I was 5 or 6 years old.
From numbers group. Crap.
15.
You wasn't that. You was just very small. You told me.
I know that the Pleiadians showed up when I was very young.
You know, yeah, you've got like and lady because it was the lady, and there it was like no one was in our house.
Yeah, that was number 15. That
Yeah,
was number 15.
but,
yeah.
Yeah, but you was small.
No, it was about like 7.
Okay. Not 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, everyone's like, we talked about number 15 actually.
Give me a second. I will tell you why. Because you met her in Backrooms.
Right.
No, it is not right.
That makes sense.
Give me a second. You pissed off, and I will tell it completely as it is. You pissed off very. This Euroboro, it is male from Euroboros, and it is huge. It is, I don't know, like, I don't know, it's like 100 feet long. It's crazy. Snake.
Yeah. And that was in the back room.
But there is some sort of, I don't know, grass. I don't want to. I just saw it, and you just tear that from few. I don't know. It was some sort of like those are beautiful, you just did that from the and oh my god, you paste this yeah, this is bad.
But I didn't try to do that. It was just happening. And well, I know that it, not even in sleep, but during the day when I was a child, I would just be sitting there doing nothing, and then all of a sudden I'd have this beautiful place, this amazing place that I was in.
Give me a second. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
And I just watch it, and then people would be calling my name. I didn't hear them, and they thought there was something wrong with me because I'd go too deep into like this, like I don't know, they call it like daydreamer,
No, Vic, this is exactly. Give me a second. This is exactly it. And give me a second. This is very, and I mean very bad. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. I mean, as young as I can remember, I was doing that at a very, very young age. I still do it.
Yeah. This is very bad.
It's whatever. I mean, I get brought in a lot of different places, but I never think of it that I'm traveling or going anywhere. So it's more like watching a movie,
So I'm just saying, because there were flowers, and you just pick up the flowers, and this Euroboru, we are calling it Euroboru in ACIO, and you piss it off, like literally, and it will eat you.
It ate me?
Because give me a second, because in the our video footage, you was small, like I don't know. Phew.
5. I know what you're
No,
talking.
no. I will say 4, something like that.
We used to play in my neighbor's backyard.
Give me a second. No, I literally.
Yeah, and she was Syrian, right? She was from Syria.
Yeah. And she always yelling. You told me.
Well, she was deaf. She was deaf and
give me a second.
almost
Completely
blind.
deaf. Completely.
But yeah, she was completely deaf, and almost blind, but so smart. She could talk to us, and she could navigate her way around things. And she was an incredible cook. She'd make food for us, and she'd be on the second floor, and she'd have this little basket, with pilaf or whatever she was making.
No, I understand, but give me a second. This is actually the way how they are getting the food in Middle East, eastern part of the.
She's old. She was old, and she couldn't go up and down the stairs, so she'd get the rope, and she'd have the basket, and she'd call me or my sister to go, because we were the youngest, and we go to get the food, and then she'd yell at us, don't eat it all, save it for everyone else. And she was her name was Alice. Oh,
no. Yeah. No,
so
not good.
Yeah, and so we would go in the backyard, and I have a memory. I did a regression years later. I have a memory of picking violets. They only grew in her backyard, not in mine, which didn't make any sense. And I would collect and make a little bouquet with my hands, and I remember I was wearing this little like red rain jacket, and I was picking the flowers, and then I was watching myself in my, I don't know, I was in my 40s or 50s. I had my first regression I did. And I saw myself disappear. I went into the ground, and then I came back up, and I said I wasn't the same after that. And then I had someone yelling at me saying I took something. It was like a fairy type of thing, because I went into
okay.
This other
actually, give me a second. Actually, that makes sense.
But I always thought it was weird. It was like an Alice scenario, and then in the Alice in Wonderland story, there's a beast, there's a creature that Alice has to kill, right? The Jabberwocky.
Oh my, yeah.
So telling me that this Ouroboros, maybe it's like a Jabberwocky or something, but yeah, my first regression, I talked about it in my book, The Seer of Violets in the Grass, because this is before I met you, and I was trying to understand what exactly happened to me. But it was definitely a very strong encounter with the fairies, and they knew exactly who I was. It was, in some ways, I think they pulled me in there, but there was always like weird things happening like that. Very, very weird. And then, like I said, she's from the Middle East. Her husband used to have the prayer beads in his hands, and I mean, we didn't know. I mean, we talked to everybody in the neighborhood. We were really young, and she saw us as family in some way. She just walked through the door and come over, and
this is crazy.
Calling us as she'd call on the phone, and she'd say, "Nobody home, nobody home." We would pick up the phone and hear her. We'd just
crazy.
go over to see her. Yeah, it was cute. It was really like, she was like a grandmother. You know what I mean?
No, of course.
If people are like all different cultures, they're nice people. If you get to know them in a different way, and she knew that we were Italian. It didn't bother her at all. We had a family from Ireland across the way, another family that was German, another family that was Greek. You know what I mean? So you got all these different cultures.
God.
But for the most part, it was a nice childhood. I wouldn't trade it for anything. But yeah, I was constantly having visions. I had at one point, my father even, he brought home, because he was in construction and was a foreman and that kind of thing. and he would bring home artifacts from New England, like, you know, pots and everything from the Revolution time. And
Ooh,
we had some of that stuff on our porch, and I remember looking at it. I'm sure that brought in some things as well, you know, because I have a strong connection to that as well. But
that's true. That's true.
yeah, I'm pretty sure I was one of those Minutemen. I saw myself as a Minuteman when I was, and that's also in that book, The Seer, where I saw myself literally with like one of those guns that they had. I was up in a tree, and I was probably about, I don't know, maybe 15 or so, 14 or 15. No uniform, just dressed like they would dress. But I know we're going off on a tangent. But yeah, I mean, I've been through stuff, and I know a lot of people that listen to the channel have had like these really weird things, and they'll contact me for, you know, have a session with me, and we'll kind of walk through it. And you know, a lot of it I recognize because I understand it. And these are the people that are in our community right now. They're experiencing these things, which makes it really interesting. But now you're in this situation, we're in this battle or this mission, and we're fighting off what I imagine Nordics in that battle that they have Unit 374 doing. So just to segue back to what you're doing, it's not easy to just, you can't just snap a finger and change the world back to the way it should be. You know, you can't correct everything.
It is almost impossible, just by the way.
Because there's so many different factors involved, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And there might be a portal that's open one place, and then years later it's not there anymore. So, you know, it's hard to kind of get back to that same point. And I don't think we were supposed to be changing anything, but the something happened with, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Peter, but if it's something like CERN that's actually running everything in a way, that is creating this weird bleed through, you know what I mean? That's bringing in these other realities or these other people, other civilizations into our reality. That's just really confusing everything. I don't want to blame, you can't blame CERN for everything, but it's definitely a way to weaken the fabric of our reality, right?
I think that there are certain things and factors we just shouldn't touch. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, if you have a house, you don't keep breaking down the wall.
Yeah, this is exactly what I want to talk.
That's you know, what we're doing. I mean, they think that they're isolating it and then only, you know, pulling in some of the dark matter that they're concerned about or interested in, or the God particle. But it doesn't work that way. It's not like you can't just take like one little particle out and not affect everything else around it. Right?
That's correct. Very correct.
So getting back to your mission, how long have you been there? You've been there for a while, right?
Yes, and the conditions and everything here are crazy, and oh my God, don't know what the heck should we do here, to be perfectly honest.
No, I mean, it's not an easy solution. I don't know if there is a solution there other than maybe just so they don't just destroy each other, and destroy anyone else in the process. I mean, I guess that's the best thing that you can hope for at this point. And maybe, you know, people with, like you said, a lot of people with intentions of wanting to see peace might help. That might definitely help. Or what do you suggest, Peter?
In this case, people just make a meditation. It will help us, and I mean a lot, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. Yeah. And also I don't know what the solution is about, what's happening in the US. I mean, a lot of people are burdened by it that live in the US right now. But it's not just the US, it's everyone having to deal with these superpowers that want to dominate and bring in, control systems, because they don't really necessarily like people from other nations. And, both of those nations that are in power, China and Russia, are not always the nicest to their own people. So how much less that they're going to treat us or you or any other group, because you're vulnerable, you're right by the border of, not that far from the Ukraine and all that activity. It's really a dilemma, and we have to, I accept what you're saying as you're telling us honestly what our scenario is, and that's not really a good scenario. But I think overall, so that means that we're in a dark place, and that there are ETs that are giving us two options of something that's not necessarily.
But that's the problem.
Yeah.
Either, do you know, you know what I mean? Either, yeah, okay, it will be bad, but back, but it's like, nah, this is not that bad, and then what? What is that? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, because you think because there is an illusion of patriotism and everything, and I think, like I said, I think there's another version of Trump somewhere that's a better, he's very angry right now. You could feel it. I would be too if someone was constantly trying to kill me, you know what I mean? So that doesn't help matters either. So he gets in, he might be, there's a trigger going off, but then again, Kamala, Jesus, that's horrifying. That's maybe even worse than Biden. I don't know.
It looks like that. Yeah, that
scares me. That scares me a lot. And I'm not scared of a lot of things, but I'm scared of how crazy that scenario could be. And a world, a civil war and more chaos and people getting a hold of weapons and things in the U.S. because it's just a, shit show. I don't know how to any other.
Yeah, that's.
So yeah, we need to raise the vibration, the consciousness to get out of this 3D mess, and maybe and any of the ETs that are guiding all of this, because behind this, like you said, the true handlers are these ET groups that are causing problems, whether that's the Nordics or some other group, the Zetas or who.
Yeah, Zetas are very bad. Zeta Reticuli, yeah, they're very bad.
And they're doing the hybrid programs. They're using humanity. They're trying to fix their genetics, at the expense of.
Yeah, because they can't be reproduced. That's true.
Yeah. Any other suggestions that you have, Peter?
From my side, no.
Okay. That's well, as far as like, do you agree with me that people, personally, to go out there and start fighting with everyone is not going to solve anything? But raising the consciousness and pulling us out of this very low consciousness system that wants to imprison everyone, that's something we need to pull out from, right? It's because we.
Yeah, because technically, besides meditation, right now, what the heck should people do? Do you know what I mean? I mean, besides non-violent stuff. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean but the prayers are powerful. They really are. I mean, it's got us this far. I mean, we've been through a lot in the past couple of years. And we can ask for protection over those artifacts, and that they were not triggered, and that they're put in a safe place. Kind of like, what is it, that show Warehouse 13, or the library, or those few movies where they literally house all those places, but on occasion someone breaks in and gets it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So there are,
Exactly.
those places exist, right? Those type of
Oh,
places.
of course they exist.
And who's in charge of places like that? Usually, is it Council of Five?
Now,
Oh,
if give me a second. Ask ACIO.
yep. Just to make sure that humanity doesn't destroy themselves by accident. That doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, the ACIO doesn't use it, and they usually know how to use some of these things, so they, for, you know, a fallout of some sort, they know how to correct it. You know what I mean? Some of the things that the other ETs do to our reality, they know how to fix the fabric of our reality if they need to.
Yes, that's correct.
So it's in better hands, and they don't have the ego that I think we keep running into. Is the ego is low vibrational activity, right?
Mhm. That's correct.
So anything else that you want to bring up, Peter?
From my point of view, that's pretty much all. That's pretty much everything. I'm just saying.
Okay. All right. So, well, thank you for being here. And I know that, you know, you haven't been around as much because of a lot of activity, and maybe you can keep us updated with what's going on. You said that you had a lot of information, that you could talk about these things multiple times. So I guess we'll revisit it the next time you talk, unless there's something else comes up.
That's yeah.
Okay, so yeah, thanks for being here, Peter.
Thank you very much for giving me giving me opportunity to be another on your channel. Thank you very much, our regular, maybe not so regular listeners, and I'm looking forward for next time. Hold tight and bye bye.
Okay, and thank you everyone for being here, and I appreciate your patience. Leave comments below, and definitely continue your prayers. Keep your consciousness up, and we will see you next time.
You have been watching Disclosures. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Visit www.acio-official.org and www.readingsbyarael.com to book a private session with Jessica. Feel free to support our work. All links can be found in the description. Thank you, and until next time.